Tonight on OC News, COVID cases continue to surge across the country and in here in Southern California. Find out how soon a vaccine might be available for you. Also, a European country plans to start vaccinating their citizens as early as next week. A couple who knew they had coronavirus boarded a plane to Hawaii and ended up in handcuffs. Looking for safe ways to get into the holiday spirit, we'll take you to some Christmas events that are sure to be magical. All this and more, OC News starts right now. Hello, and thank you for joining us at OC News. I'm Kimberly Cruz. Welcome to a special edition of OC News. As COVID-19 cases continue to spike, we'll bring you this episode of OC News remotely, straight from our homes. I'm joining you today from the city of Covina. We start our show today with alarming COVID-19 cases. Health officials expected another surge of COVID-19 cases with the holiday season just around the corner. Hospitalizations have more than doubled since the beginning of November. That's another record for the country. And California may be seeing another stay-at-home order. From November 25th until now, the total number of U.S. cases is more than 280,000, leaving the number of deaths of more than 2,500. In California alone, the number of new COVID-19 cases after Thanksgiving is 18,904, and the number of deaths have reached over 100 in just 1 week. With Christmas and New Year's coming up, CDC is urging people to stay at home and continue to practice safety measurements. New CDC quarantine recommendations have also been implemented. The current quarantine recommendation called for 14 days of isolation. New guidelines now state that individuals who come into close contact with anyone infected with coronavirus should quarantine for 7 to 10 days. People can end their quarantine in just 7 days if accompanied with a negative test. However, if you don't get tested, you should wait out the 10 days. As COVID-19 cases continue to surge and alarming rates here in the United States, a promising vaccine may be underway. Reporter Nick Wyatt has the story.
A global first. The Brits just authorized the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. They might start vaccinating people next week.
We believe that it is really the start of the end of the pandemic.
December 10th, an FDA panel meets. U.S. authorization could come within days. And then
distribution to the American people becomes immediate within 24 hours.
We expect, if all safety and efficacy approvals are granted, those doses will arrive on December 15th.
Moderna's vaccine is about a week behind. The plan? Vaccinate 20 million Americans in December, 30 million in January, 50 million in February. By March 1st,
we will have potentially immunized 100 million people, which is really more or less the size of the significant at-risk population.
Refrigerators are ready at airports and hospitals across the country. Pfizer's vaccine must be stored at minus 103 degrees Fahrenheit. First in line for the limited supply, medical personnel and residents of long-term care facilities. A CDC advisory panel just made that call.
We can do those via mass immunization events. We can't use mass immunization events for every person in the U.S.
And it's 2 doses. Not easy. Going to take time. Yes, this could be the start of the end, but it is not the end. Tuesday, 2,597 lives reported lost in this country, the second highest total since all this began.
December and January and February are going to be rough times. I actually believe they're going to be the most difficult time in the public health history of this nation.
Nearly 100,000 Americans are now hospitalized, an all-time high.
We might not show it if we're interacting with you, but it's so hard.
Some hospitals now maxed out.
We really truly are out of beds, and it's not just the intensive care unit, it's all the medical beds as well.
From Friday, there's a new overnight curfew in Tucson, Arizona. San Francisco is mulling an end to even outdoor dining. One Alaskan bistro just celebrated New Year's very early. A socially distanced dinner before restaurant restrictions kicked back in.
CSUF is also looking into possible vaccine distributions for students. The Chancellor's Office and the state's Department of Health will also be deciding if the vaccine will be a requirement for new and returning students. A Hawaii couple who traveled from San Francisco International Airport to Kauai has been arrested after boarding a plane knowing they tested positive for COVID-19. The man and woman are residents of Kauai who have been charged with second-degree reckless endangerment and are currently in isolation. Starting Wednesday, all travelers arriving to Kauai are subject to a 14-day self-quarantine regardless of testing. After reports surfaced over the weekend about a suspect breaking in taking place on campus of Cal State Fullerton, new details have emerged regarding the culprit. For that, we bring in our live reporter, Lauren King. Lauren?
Yes, Kim. California State University officials have just released reports of a male that they believe is responsible for a series of break-ins. On Tuesday, an image reportedly surfaced of an unidentified male in walking into McCarthy Hall at approximately 3 o'clock in the morning. In addition to this, they believe the suspect is responsible for the loss of a few items, such as a laptop and other small reported items, that they believe the suspect is responsible for. In addition to this, they apprehended the suspect just shortly after he left behind a few pieces of key evidence, including the skateboard that he was seen leaving the scene on.
Thank you, Lauren, for that update. Titans Turnout. After this short message, we take a look at the historical results of this year's ballot bowl regarding the 2020 presidential election and see what summer 2021 might look like for all the fairgoers.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it, so do your part and stay home. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit social gatherings. If you need essential items like food and medicine, try using a delivery service. If you must leave your house for essential items, or if you want to take a walk for exercise, make sure to wear a cloth face covering. Stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Try not to touch frequently touched surfaces like light signals, street signs, or benches. And wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so stay home unless absolutely necessary. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Titans churn out this election year. Cal State Fullerton led a statewide ballot bowl competition by registering the most students at any public California university. CSUF led by 2,716 voters. That is almost 1,000 more than the runner-up, Cal State Long Beach. The ballot bowl was created to increase registration among college students, with over 1,000 voters dropping off mail-in ballots at CSUF. Safety measures were ensured. Titans continue to churn out where it counts. With no clear extension in sight, millions of people must prepare to pay back loans in 2021. There might have been some relief back in March after monthly payments for most federal student loans were put on hold through the CARES Act. That gave about 42 million people a break while everyone was trying to deal with COVID. Now the law is expiring this month, which means monthly payments for student loans start again, unless another extension is made.
Measures put in place earlier in the year, like a moratorium on evictions and a federal student loan payment freeze, are set to expire within weeks, leaving millions hoping Republicans and Democrats will put aside the politics and make a deal before year's end.
So make a plan and sort out all your expenses. The Department of Education's website has tools that can help you with this. Attorney General William Barr is under fire from the Trump administration due to his comments which denied the presence of widespread election fraud. Shortly after making the comments, Barr was seen leaving the White House after an unscheduled meeting. Barr's comments go against the message of the Trump administration and other GOP leaders who continue to claim the election was stolen from current President Donald Trump. No evidence of these claims have been found. Lakers star forward LeBron James has signed a 2-year extension with the team. This is the first non-rookie extension James has ever signed. The Lakers are set to begin their season on December 22nd against the Clippers in the latest battle for Los Angeles. That game will also mark the unveiling of the organization's 17th championship banner and celebration of their 2020 finals victory. As Drake is set to debut a new album next month, the Canadian rapper is first expected to release a new product that may even top his latest single. Here covering entertainment, we send it over to reporter Bianca Lambert. Bianca?
Thanks, Kim. Yes, forget the smell of pumpkin spice. The smell of Drake is going to be the new scent around these holidays. That's right, rapper Drake is releasing a series of scented candles for the holidays, including the smell of Drake himself. He teamed up with the company Resolve to create his scent. The smell is described as having notes of musk, ambers, cashmere, suede, and velvet. Drake also has 4 other fragrances: Sweeter Things, Williamsburg, Sleepover, Good Thoughts, and Mosoko. If these candles sell out, Drake better forget his career in music and stick with this. Speaking of sticking around, Larsa Pimpin is doing so and making headlines once again. After claiming that she dated Kristen Thompson prior to relationship with Khloe Kardashian on Hollywood Raw podcast, Larsa was spotted cozying up with the Minnesota Timberwolves guard Malik Beasley in Miami. Beasley's wife, Montana Yo, say she had no idea her husband was out with Pimpin and wrote on her Instagram story, quote, "Wow, I don't even know this man. This is wild, y'all. I'm seeing this for the first time, just like y'all." We'll have to see how this plays out. But with more news, Ellen Page, star of Juno, and the Netflix's The Umbrella Academy, among other things, comes out trans. Ellen Page is now Elliot Page. He says he's transgender and non-binary, meaning his gender identity is neither man nor woman. Elliot Page's wife praises him for coming out as transgender, and Page also says he feels lucky to finally be at this place where he loves who he is, and he's thankful for the support he's gotten to get here. Now, Kim, that's all the gossip and news I have for today. Back to you, Kim.
Thank you, Bianca. Christmas time is in full swing amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. We take a dive into how some are still getting in their holiday cheer. Plus, Orange County Fairgrounds unveiled their new plans for next year's summer festivities. All that and more coming right up.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
December is here and Christmas decorations are going up. Reporter Bianca Lambert takes us on a walk through her neighborhood in Altaloma to give us a glimpse of the popular Christmas lights on the street called Thoroughbred.
Jack Who Stole Christmas is back in town, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. In the city of Altaloma, Thoroughbred is a neighborhood to be at in the month of December. As soon as the skies turn dark, cars fill the street to see the lights.
Now, these aren't just any ordinary lights. These Christmas lights are extravagant. The decorations are huge, and people around the town come to see these lights.
Owners on the street say decorations and planning takes months, a huge electricity bill, and a lot of strain to put up.
We have someone that does the trees and stuff. I think it's the snowman trying to get it lined up, because once it's so, once it gets up, it's just hard to manage. It takes like 3 of us to kind of pull it and tie it down.
Across the way, families not only have extravagant Christmas lights, but a family tradition selling churros to help raise money and a lesson to teach their children about business.
Every year, even when we used to walk the lights when we didn't live here, we remember when people would always sell churros and hot chocolate and that kind of stuff. And we just wanted to do that as well this year.
Thoroughbred lights have become a tradition for many, and neighbors say seeing smiles on everyone's faces is worth every penny and hassle.
In Altaloma, I'm Bianca Lambert reporting for OC News.
Until next year.
With no in-person events in sight, many stadiums and fairgrounds are using their site to create holiday cheer responsibly. Showing us a drive-through event, we have Andrea Carvajal.
In the midst of a global pandemic, the Pomona Fairplex and Constellation Immersive have teamed up to create the Elf on the Shelf magical holiday journey. This is a one-of-a-kind immersive drive-through experience for the holiday season that incorporates social distancing rules and health safety precautions. Upon arriving, staff will check you in with a goodie bag for your journey. Throughout the event, you use your phone to go through the chapters of the storyline.
Testing. Humans? Can you hear me? While you are finishing your letter or drawing, there are a few North Pole do's and don'ts.
Tickets are sold online at elfontheshelfjourney.com, where you can purchase regular price, call, or upgrade your tickets. The producer, Marty LaSalle, ensures safety precautions are being taken.
People don't get out of their cars unless they're using the bathroom, and that's managed very carefully, and there's limited throughput. So they stay in their cars. It's outdoor, and anytime there's interaction with a worker who's checking people in, for example, there's a distance, and our employees have masks and face shields.
Only 30 minutes away from Orange County, the Pomona Fairplex invites people from all over to join.
The Fairplex, it's not necessarily central to LA, but it is central to the Inland Empire, and there's just a whole, it opens up a whole sort of set of markets that wouldn't have been up to us if we were, I think, more central in LA.
Now open till January 3rd, safety and fun is ensured for all who come. This is Andrea Carvajal with OC News.
Thanks, Andrea. It looks like a safe and fun way to celebrate the holidays. Any fairgoers missing those summer nights at the fairgrounds? Well, good news for you. Orange County Fair officials are hoping and planning to deliver an in-person event in summer 2021. While plans for the 2021 fair are still fluid, officials indicate they're planning to bring a 21-day fair with only 300,000 guests per day, which is half of the average daily attendance in previous years. And of course, fewer vendors and carnival rides that will only allow social distancing. We will have to wait and see what surprises summer 2021 will bring us, but it is sure to look promising. That will do it here for us at OC News. Thank you so much for tuning in. For more, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube at OC News CSUF. From everyone here at OC News, have a wonderful night and stay safe.